Welcome everybody to the Episode 4. Episode 4 of the Pinnacle Combat Sports Podcast. I am your host, Jim, and as always, I'm with my boy, Danny. Dano. What's going on, Dano?
What's up, Buckarooski? How we doing?
I'm all right.
May 4th.
May the 4th be with you. Yeah.
The 4th episode. There's a lot of connections.
All right. And also with you.
And by a lot, I mean two.
Yeah, we got it's actually a big day today. We got UFC 301 tonight. You excited for that?
Oh, for sure. I know a lot of people, they kind of look at this card and they're thinking of it as kind of a lesser than, but it's like after 300, it's like anything's going to look that way. Yeah. Number one. And then also a sneaky thing though, man, I love these Brazil cards. The Brazil cards are always, it's like rabid fans from the beginning, from the first fight. The atmosphere is like, one of the better ones in the sport. And it's just like a pretty much Brazil versus the world usually, right? It seems like every fight's going to be at least one representative from Brazil, right? So yeah, I enjoy these cards.
Always big energy in Brazil. But before we get to that, we'll get to 301. Yep. Just a couple smaller things that I think we should talk about. First of all, I wanted to mention that Francis Ngannous lost a kid last week. 18-month-old, his son Kobe. So that's really sad. We got to at least mention him, and I hope that Francis and his family are doing okay and get through this hard time they're dealing with.
Absolutely, that's terrible.
Yeah. So I just wanted to mention that. But before we get into the thick of 301 tonight, we got to talk about the other big fight happening tonight, which is Canelo Alvarez. And what's his name? What is his name? Who's he fighting? I can't.
Did you say Iguana?
Yeah. Where the hell is his name? Oh, Jamie Munguia? Is that how you say it?
I am not 100%. Because I honestly have not seen him fight before.
So that's the interesting thing, right? Everyone tunes in for Canelo because he's Canelo, right?
Yeah.
But I just like you, I don't know anything about this guy he's fighting, but I looked it up on CBS Sports, and apparently the guy's 43-0. He's 43-0. He has 34 knockouts, and he's a fellow Mexican from Tijuana. So this is the first time Canelo's fighting another fellow Mexican since like 2017 or something like that. So that's why it's a big deal. It's like Cinco de Mayo weekend. It's Mexico versus Mexico. Canelo Alvarez versus an undefeated fighter. So like they're expecting it to be a great fight. Also, this guy, I guess, is coached by Freddie Roach. So yeah. Okay. It's a big deal.
Could be interesting then. We'll see.
Yeah. And hopefully I'll be able to watch both of the fights if I can. We'll see. I don't know. I'll try. But yeah, I didn't know it was going to be that great of a fight until I looked up his record and all that. So now I'm more excited about it.
Sure. Oh, for sure. No, it definitely could play out that way. I'd say always beware of the records though with boxing, because that's all no one does. No one builds up a record better than boxing. They'll build up a record, and then, not to say they're not great, but as soon as they run into someone who's more so at their level, we'll really see. So, like I said, that's based on nothing. We don't really know a lot. We just wanted to touch on it, but
yeah,
I just know how great Canelo is, and I've seen him plenty of times. So we'll see. I hope it is a good fight. That would be cool.
That would be cool, and they need it. I think
like a trilogy type deal, Which
and we talked.
I would imagine it would be.
We talked a lot about boxing last week, and they just need good fights, and they need big names that come up. And I mean, we don't have to get into it again. Yeah,
you know what they don't need? Yeah, get into that.
I know where you're going with that. Right? Yeah, I have that open too. Yeah, apparently Ryan Garcia was popped for PEDs. I guess it's a thing
some
called
kind, right?
It's called Ostarine. Yeah, and I just read what Ostarine is on here. And it says ostarine is a type of drug called a selective androgen receptor modulator. It's not approved by the FDA, but sometimes found in supplements. Ostarine attaches to proteins in the body known as androgen receptors. When ostarine binds to these receptors, it tells muscles to grow. So
Yeah, so you just kind of pressing fast forward on things, I guess, right?
yeah,
In a way.
basically, yeah. So yeah, he got popped. I don't know what that means for the fight. I guess Devin Haney wants it to be considered a no contest. I don't know what the process is. I know I
They've done
read,
that before, so.
yeah, and I read that Ryan Garcia is trying to get all of the supplements that he's taken over the past, for the camp or whatever, tested because there might be something that he didn't know in his supplements. But who knows? He's got to say that, right? Who knows if he? You just never know, right?
You don't. You really don't.
Yeah, I mean,
But
I wouldn't put it
it's
past him
unfortunate
either
all
way.
around.
Yeah. Because like I watched that fight and I was like, wow, this is actually a great boxing match. Like this is fun to watch. And then of course that happens and it's like, okay, now we're back to square one. And it's
Yeah,
unfortunate, like you said.
that's too bad. It is too bad. But
Yeah.
there's plenty coming. We'll see. We'll see if I haven't really had a lot of boxing matches like really interest me completely too much recently, but we'll see.
Yeah. I want it to be better. It's just and I think it will get better. Now that UFC is merging, I think they're going to pick up some boxing. Did they already pick up a boxing promotion?
I'm not sure. I know they have a lot of things on Fight Pass, so they probably have some type of. There's obviously a connection there, but I honestly don't know why they haven't done that. That would be kind of cool. I think a lot of fighters would like that.
Yeah.
To kind of maybe take up a boxing match or a kickboxing match with someone within the organization, possibly, or outside. However they do it, they do it. That's what contracts are for, and like that, I think that would be kind of fun.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
But I don't know. I don't know why they wouldn't want to do it. Maybe it's because they want to just keep it kind of. Now they're finally here, and they're finally like actually like a real legitimate like entity. I think they probably want to keep it that way, right? Just keep it like very focused on what they do.
Yeah, separated.
Mainly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense too. So you can see both sides. I just you just think of it. You think of it more as a fan. You think that would be cool if all these fights were happening.
Yeah,
that's all.
Yeah.
More selfish.
Yeah, but I'm even okay with them keeping it separated. Like how like now that UFC and WWE are together, like WWE is doing a pay-per-view at the UFC Apex, which is kind of cool.
That's cool, yeah.
So they're like kind of cross promotion. It's like a cross promotion thing. They're separate, but they help each other, and I think that's a good idea. I think if it was up to me, I think UFC should buy Top Rank Boxing, and like they can co-promote for each other and stuff. And I think and then they'd have also a hand in promoting and helping new boxers, gain notoriety and stuff like that. So
it would be cool.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It should be getting good. But another thing I wanted to talk about before we get into 301, and I want to dive in a little bit here because I know we've talked about it off mic many times, but I guess Jon Jones lately has been talking about fighting Alex Pereira.
Yeah.
And he goes back and forth. I don't know. I mean, all right, so the three guys in question that he could be fighting is Alex Pereira, Tom Aspinall, and Stipe Miocic. I mean, like, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think about all that?
Well, in order, how would I want to see them? I mean, I still want to see Stipe and Jon Jones.
Yeah.
I want to see that happen. If I can't see that, I still want to see a natural heavyweight like Aspinall. I don't know. I think you'd want to pump the brakes on a heavyweight fight for Pereira, but maybe there really isn't. What else? Who would he fight? Let's see. Who would he fight at light heavyweight if that was his next fight? I know he wants to stay active.
Well, he's only had 2 fights in light heavyweight, right? He fought Yuri and then he fought Jamal Hill.
Yeah, so he's still relatively but I no disrespect, but maybe. Oh, how about Ankalaev? Who's he signed up to fight?
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, yeah.
I feel like that's probably the biggest of the top dogs there that he has not faced. Before you even start talking about that, it's kind of like the whole Topuria thing. He just got the belt and already talking about Holloway. It's like I don't know about that one. That seems like I think Max Holloway should let that marinate for a bit and see what happens with like Poirier, Makhachev, and like upcoming fights. Like even Connor and Chandler, you never know, right? Like something like wait and see what happens with those. And I think Topuria should still have to, I think it's kind of weird when a guy just gets a belt and then starts saying no to fights.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of context, but it's like with that's why you respect Leon Edwards so much.
Yeah,
because he's picking the phone up to say one thing and that's it. You know what I mean? Like, okay, cool, yep. Like now I got a face, but either way, it doesn't really matter to him. I don't know. What do you think about that?
I just think you should have to clean out your division before you even get an opportunity to fight for another title.
Or at least get halfway.
Yeah,
right?
at least fight like, I don't know, 3 to 5 of the biggest guys, at least the top 5, something like that. And where I think the problem is with the whole Jon Jones thing is Jon Jones has done everything you can do as a UFC fighter, right? So he doesn't, like with Aspinall, for example, he doesn't get it because he's like, he has too much to lose now. Jon Jones has so much to lose. So he's going to fight the guy that he knows he can beat. Because if he lets Aspinall come up and this young heavyweight guy and he beats him, then like Jones, like, I don't know, then everything's over for Jones, right? But I think
there's not a lot to gain there.
Yeah, but I think, like Dustin Poirier said when he fought his last fight, he's like, I got to give these young guys the opportunity because I know I still got it. And some guy, I forget who he said it was, some guy gave me the opportunity when I was young and up and coming to take the torch,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But Jon Jones has way more to lose than Dustin does. That's the problem. And that's why Stipe doesn't want to fight unless it's Jon Jones. Because everyone was saying, Stipe is the heavyweight GOAT for a long time. I think he was kind of robbed out of his title to face Ngannou in a smaller cage at the Apex. And now he's like, well...
That was a tough scenario.
Yeah, I don't have to prove anything. I've done, again, in the heavyweight division, I've done everything you can do for the most part. I want the big legendary fight. So he's waiting for Jon Jones. It doesn't make sense for him to go down and fight Aspinall either, right?
Oh, for sure. And it's like you see the last vision of Stipe with Ngannou was him being knocked out, but people forget that he had a great win against Ngannou when everyone was scared of Ngannou when he was first coming up the ranks.
Yeah, unanimous decision. Yep.
Yeah, he took a lot of shots in that fight. So, and then I'm pretty sure didn't they run it back right away, pretty quickly after. And
yeah, it wasn't too long after.
That's a factor too, especially when the guy that's hitting you is that big. Yeah, that's got to mean something. It's a lot more than a 155 or say someone like that weight,
And then you put him in a smaller cage where he can't like use his footwork to get away.
With a rematch.
I mean, I don't know.
Tough.
But if you think about it from Jon Jones' perspective, right? You're looking at these 3 guys, right? In your opinion, who do you think is the easier puzzle to figure out for Jon Jones?
So you're saying for Jon Jones to win out of those 3, what's the easiest fight for him? Pereira.
I agree, 100%. Which is why he's calling out Pereira.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think he knows. He's like, I can easily I could take this guy down. And I don't think people realize how good Jon Jones is on the ground. Like it seems like he just doesn't really. You saw, he's just as good there as anywhere really, and he can dictate that a lot. And his range and his reach just makes it's a nightmare.
Yeah, he's got long legs, long arms. Yeah.
Yeah, if Pereira hits people, they're gonna. Yeah, anyone can go down from the shots when he throws them. But it's like, will they ever be there? Will they ever present themselves against a guy like Jon Jones, who's like reaching out and grabbing at your wrists?
Yep.
And no one's ever really been able to do that before. So you're kind of like, it's kind of a mind fuck, right? Like,
yeah.
you know, but
Yeah.
so I would say that, and then that the next one would be tough because you figure Stipe. The only reason why I would say it's not him is because of it. Age is a factor, and the longer he's out, he might feel great, but the longer he's out, that's just, I don't think that's I think that's the worst time to be having long layoffs.
I
Is
agree.
deep into your 30s,
Yeah.
you know. But we'll see. It's very interesting to see if any of this even plays out, because it's like the dude just has to he has to make the walk still, and you know it seems like he's always has something going on. So hopefully he can keep himself out of trouble long enough for one of these fights to be able to present himself.
Yeah.
But so what do you agreed with that? What did I think Aspinall's a dangerous fight for these heavyweights.
Yeah, so I agree. I think Alex Pereira is an easier puzzle for him to solve. Just because, and that's nothing against him as a fighter. Like obviously he's one of the best in the whole company right now in terms of like, I mean, he's only been with the UFC for like 3 years, and look, he's already got 2 different weight class belts. He's beaten.
It's no disrespect at all. It's like you said. The best way to say it would be, it's like when Pereira was having this whole kickboxing career, Jon Jones has been working on his whole MMA game.
Yeah.
So it's like no wonder it's no surprise, but that doesn't mean that Pereira hasn't made strides in his own game. But you know what Pereira's trying to do.
Yeah.
You know, Pereira's not trying to take him down and take his back and choke him out. He's trying to knock him out. He knows that's his way to do it. But it would be interesting. You know, what happens if Pereira starts getting off those really sneaky leg kicks, and then you just never know. Do I want to see it happen? Of course, I would love to watch.
Yeah.
I do think that would be probably the fight that would be. Jon Jones can take the easiest route, because that's what he seems to do. He saw what he did with Cyril Gane.
Yeah, Cyril Gane was a sacrificial lamb, right? I mean, like,
it's weird.
Weird. I mean, I know you have to promote the fight and everything, and they were talking Cyril Gane up before that fight, but there's no way he was going to win that fight. No way. It went exactly the way I thought it would go, which is fine.
Very little resistance was the only thing that I didn't love. Like, no resistance, man. I just don't think you're going to see. I don't think you're going to see that from Aspinall. I think you could see Jon Jones submit him for sure, but I don't think you're going to see that little resistance from a guy like Tom Aspinall if he's in those bad spots. You're going to see him try to fight out of it.
Yeah,
I don't think Cyril Gane didn't. It just seemed like, we don't have to get into it too much, but it's like there's no point of really. But it's just like, it's one of those things. It's a bummer to see that.
Yeah. Well, I walked earlier to go get a coffee before we did this, and I was thinking about this whole Jon Jones thing, and I don't know. Don't get me wrong. Jon Jones is one of the best fighters ever, hands down. Obviously he's in the GOAT conversation, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of his last 10 years, he hasn't, like, his last big, in my opinion, his last most difficult fight in the past 10 years was probably Alexander Gustafsson. And I'm looking at it right now. Yeah. That was 2018. But he beat him pretty bad.
Yeah, in the rematch, you could tell let's see, put it this way, I think he trained for it. It looked like he did, because he made short work of him.
Yeah.
But I think with Jon Jones, a lot of it is just, what really is it? He's kind of a mystery. Because you get different versions of that guy a lot of times, so you don't really know what's what a lot of times, I feel, with him. So who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. In my opinion, the light heavyweight division has been pretty bad in terms of, like, this. I don't know. I'm an idiot. I'm just some guy sitting at home watching. So don't take this. They're all obviously badass fighters. But in terms of like the talent pool, in terms of like well-rounded MMA guys that are like championship potential, I think the light heavyweight division has less of those than the other divisions, if that makes sense.
And it's kind of always been like that, right? Like light heavyweight, no disrespect. It's just, it's more of a testament to how strong a lot of the other divisions are, in my opinion, more so. Right.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. Yeah. I feel bad saying that because like,
I do too. Yeah.
It's not that I love watching I just haven't seen a competitor in the light heavyweight division that really caught my eye as like, this guy's going to be a problem for a long time, if that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah. Maybe there will be one tonight. You figure that, that dude that's fighting Anthony Smith, Vitor Petrino, I believe it is.
Yep. Yeah.
He's undefeated Brazilian. We'll see. He's built like a Greek god. So, that helps as far as marketability. He's Brazilian.
Yep.
But I don't know. I agree. I just don't see a lot of. If you look at like, let's just say if you took the top 10 of light heavyweight and you took the top 10 of lightweight or welterweight, and if you just look at the names, there's just so many divisions with such a stacked top 10, top 15, say.
Yeah,
that I just don't think light heavyweight. I think that's more so why it sticks out. It's not even that it's weak. It's just that look at all the strength around it. Just kind of makes it look like the weakest link. I think it's one of the weaker divisions. Yeah. Right. I mean,
and like I don't know, but because like every time I've seen a light heavyweight championship fight in the past like 5 years, I was never like, oh wow, I don't know who's going to win this fight. You know what I mean? Like you kind of always like there's someone that's just, to me, it's like obvious who, whereas other divisions, you're like, wow, I don't know which way this is going to go and I have to watch. You know what I mean?
For sure. I think that fight could be, we have to look it up at one point, but I think it could be that Ankalaev would be a good fight for Pereira. I think that would be a good next fight for him.
Yeah,
and I just think 100%. Jon Jones should fight one of those heavyweights mentioned. I think Stipe should get it. I think that fight should happen. If it's all still good, I think Stipe should get that fight first. But
see, I think Stipe's chances go down the longer he waits. Like
for sure, yeah.
He hasn't fought since March of 2019. Wait, 2019 or 20? I have it right.
Wow, has it been that long?
No, I think it's 2020. Right here. He fought Ngannous on March 27, 2021. Sorry.
2021. Okay. Still been a while. But
just over 3 years. Yeah. So the longer he waits, though, I'm sure he's in the gym training and he's a firefighter. He's probably in shape. But I'm sure at the same time, he hasn't been, I don't know, thinking about fighting as much as he used to, probably. And the longer it takes, like, you can't say that someone that takes 2 or 3 years off is going to come back in and fight the, who most people consider the GOAT of the sport and look his best, It's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's tough. Well,
but it makes sense for Stipe because, he's widely considered up until recently the heavyweight GOAT. So why is he going to fight someone? I don't know. I just like these guys that will fight anybody. And it actually proves to everybody, including the company, that for one, you're willing and able. And if you really think you are who you say you are, then you can beat anybody, right? So let's go. And then at the same time, maybe you give these younger fighters a chance to take over when they're at their best, And that's why I like that Aspinall, he just won the heavyweight interim belt. Mm-hmm. He has every reason to wait for Jon Jones, right? Because that's the big money fight, the one he wants. But he's still going to fight in Manchester because he wants to stay active. And he's kind of putting that opportunity on the line. Because if he loses in Manchester, what does that do for his his road to the championship.
Oh, for sure. Who's he fighting? Is that a thing already?
They haven't announced it, but he says he's fighting on it. So yeah, they haven't announced.
I just wonder who it's going to be. I wonder who it's going to be then. If it's not Jones, we'll see.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, Jones doesn't want to fight him. I think for obvious reasons, but it'll happen. I think it'll happen eventually. I think Aspinall will fight for the title, whether it's against Jones or not, at some point in the next year.
I mean, either way, he's going nowhere. That he's a top level heavyweight for sure. So whether Jon Jones is around or not, he's going to be around.
I saw this post that said basically like the heavyweight interim belt that Aspinall won is the most it doesn't mean anything at all. So why did they even do it?
Seriously.
Yeah. All right, let's get into UFC 301. You ready?
Oh, absolutely. Let's do it.
All right. Well, before we do we talk about the fights, we have to mention this guy. And actually, you didn't know this when you first called, but this guy, Gomez?
Yeah, was it William Gomez?
William Gomez, yeah. He had a really tough weight cut, and it was actually really weird. I'll try to re-explain it because you didn't know about this when I called you, but or when you called me. But so he went to the weigh-ins, the official weigh-ins, and he weighed in at 143, which is 3 pounds under the limit, right? But he was fully clothed, so he had shorts and a t-shirt on. He was sweating like crazy, like he just got out of the sauna. And he could barely stand on his own. He was totally out of it. And I guess he puked before he went out to the weigh-in and all that. And he needed help walking back to the the backstage area. And immediately after that, they canceled the fight. But the weird thing is that he was fully clothed and still weighed in at 143. So he was probably 141, right? Or something with, if he wasn't.
They overshot it?
I don't know. Something with his team.
I wonder.
His weight cut team or whatever. I don't know where
Seems
they
like
were
a mismanagement
off. It was
issue.
weird, yeah. So that fight was canceled.
Huh.
And it's really unfortunate because then you have to get into this whole discussion of, cutting weight and how they should do it and why they do it this way when, there are other companies like One doing hydration tests. And I know me and you have talked about it many times, but I don't know. It's just weird.
I just don't see if the weight's kind of relative within a certain amount of weight. I don't see why any of these fighters would have a problem with it. I think it's more the egregious differences in weight would be the reason why there's weight classes. Other than that, figure if a guy's naturally 5 pounds more, does that really matter to you? Or, I mean, I think a lot of fighters would say no, but you don't know. That's why opinions differ on that subject, but
yeah,
I just think it'd be safer, which is probably the number one thing. I think you're in a better position to take shots when you're better hydrated. I think that would probably be well supported, right? Isn't that kind of a thing?
Yeah,
isn't
that's
that the biggest thing of the whole weight cut? Yeah, taking shots 72 hours after being that dehydrated is not good. So it's they're doing it 24 hours after. So
yeah, it's pretty wild. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's scary though because someone could die that way. If they push 100%. It too far, it's really dangerous. And not only that, but I would assume if you go through that kind of dehydration, how long does it take your brain to recover, or does it recover? Can you have long-term damage from doing that over and over and over again to your body? I don't know.
Probably your other organs.
Yeah, right? That too. Yeah,
kidneys or some type of one of your organs, I would imagine.
Yeah, so one of these days something really bad's going to happen, and it's not going to be good. They should figure this out now while they have the chance. Get ahead of it,
I know. They've had a few fighters that have kidney failure. Didn't Habib had that? He had that once, some type of problem or scare with a kidney failure type deal.
Yeah.
With one of his weight cuts.
I get scared every time Oliveira cuts weight.
I know. He's a big fella. That's a tough weight.
They cover him in towels, and his whole family and team like pray around him. It's like, dude, they're like ready for anything. I don't know. It's scary. I don't know. I don't like it. I just wish that, I don't know. Someone was saying the other day, they were like, they should just weigh in whatever they weigh in at the day of the fight. And then you just fight, you know? But then they'd try to find some scary way to take advantage and beat the system, you know, like they always do. That's how sports are. You play within the rules and you bend some a little bit to take an advantage, right?
That's, I mean, yeah, pretty much every sport has, that's competition. You're going to have cheaters, and there's a fine line. And there's a lot of people that are highly, highly competitive that'll walk and stomp on that line as much as if it means they can win. They'll do whatever they can to win. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's the nature of competition.
Yeah, it's a big risk, and he took the risk, and now they canceled his fight. So hopefully he figures out, or his team figures out where they went wrong, and he can bounce back more healthy next time and do it right. But let's get into this main card.
Good. Just hopefully he's good, you know. Hopefully he bounces back and he's feeling good. But we'll see.
So let's start on the main event. What do you think? Pantoja and Usyk.
I've been going back and forth on this one because it's just like Pantoja's he's so damn good. It's hard to kind of go the other way, but it's like I could see how Usyk could win this fight because I watched some of his fights, and he's so smooth. He's a very good striker.
Yeah.
Very long, really good boxing, like really good knockout power for a flyweight. But I just kind of, my number one way I think I could see this fight going is just Pantoja maybe doing a little bit mix up on the feet, but I think ultimately he wants to take it down to the ground because his ground game is so phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I would think he'd probably lean towards maybe going towards a submission in this fight. But what are you thinking off the bat?
Off the bat, I think Pantoja. Well, there's a couple things. Usyk is ranked number 10. But he's also on an 11-fight win streak. So that's huge. But Pantoja's just, I don't know, these guys are crazy. He's so good. Like, I thought Davidson Figueiredo was good, and then Pantoja, like, stepped it up for me, you know?
Yeah. Pantoja, he's such a brawler. I think people, they kind of lean towards maybe that being his skill set, but it's his ground game that really is what people should be fearful of. He's so good on the ground, man. He makes it look easy.
Yeah,
I know Usyk has had his moments. Oh my God, yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes down. But I'm leaning towards Pantoja by a submission. Let's say earlier, maybe I'd say like round 2. If I was going to go crazy on this prediction, but I wouldn't be completely shocked if Usyk lands a knockout in this fight, just with all things considered. But I just think it's in Brazil. It's a big night. I think Pantoja's going to get it done.
Yeah, I agree. And with everything you just said, I'm going to throw $20 in my DraftKings and do some bets like we did last time. And I think you should too. I'll put them up on the Instagram for anybody that looks at it.
All right, I'm back in. God damn it.
I knew you would.
Damn it. I already lost one mortgage, but you know, what's two?
All right, co-main event. Jose Aldo, the return of, in my opinion, one of the best featherweights ever.
For sure.
Against Jonathan
the original
Martinez.
Boogeyman at that weight. The King of Rio.
They're both ranked at number 12, so they're fighting for the number 12 spot at least. What do you think? Shit. I don't know much about this Jonathan Martinez kid. Do you?
He's very good. He's definitely raw. He's newer, obviously, but he's got really good power. He's got good boxing, but his leg kicks are really devastating. I don't know how that's going to go against a guy like Aldo. That's one thing. Aldo delivers leg kicks really very well, but he also checks them very well. So he's not someone that it's easy to get those off on. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
And so if he's able to do that, that's a big feather in his cap. And then you also want to see, but more. Okay, first with Jonathan Martinez, I could see him. He's a good boxer. If he lands some strikes, Aldo could be in trouble. The only reason why I'm thinking Aldo might look really good is because he had those couple boxing matches. He's kind of talking about he's going to put the extra boxing knowledge he's gained, kind of mixed up with his whole MMA game with his leg kicks, how great they have been over the years. I still think he has more to offer. He doesn't look like a fighter that's done.
Yeah, I agree.
But
yeah.
So we'll see.
And I wonder how long Aldo's planning on sticking around. What do you think? I don't know if he's even said anything, but
yeah, he just doesn't strike me as someone who's. It seems like he's like reinvigorated. He's ready to make an actual like legitimate run. Whatever that run is, we'll see. But I mean, you have to start somewhere, and that's tonight. But I think it's the table's set for a perfect return, if you ask me.
Well, I hope so, because I love Jose Aldo as much as the next guy. So
you have a date. I think for a guy like Jose Aldo, the best opponents for him are dangerous opponents that are going to bring a fight to him, and that's Jonathan Martinez will do that. So it's like, yeah, could he get knocked out? Sure, but that's fighting. So you kind of want a guy who's going to be a willing dance partner in these situations, and Martinez definitely will be. So you could see a really good looking, sharp Aldo. I think I'm hoping to see that. Put it that way.
Yeah, but can't wait.
Yeah. So what else we got on that? It is a good main card.
Yeah, it's going to be great. We'll do one more because my computer's kind of messing up, as you know, and I'll fix that tonight. But let's talk about. Well, we talked about Anthony Smith a little bit. Hopefully, that will be our next light heavyweight contender. One of these guys.
He's a big favorite, Vitor Petrino, I believe. Right? We're fairly large.
Oh yeah, negative 575. So
it's a pretty
big.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. I mean, the one thing I will say about is, Anthony Smith has been there. He's been and done there. He's been a long time. He's had a long road, and he's fought in all those like Midwestern organizations, I believe, like early on too. But he has been stopped a lot. So this could be a big fight for that Petrino if he can put it on him early when he's at his freshest, and maybe get him out of the door early. We'll see. But I don't know. When you get that crowd behind you, I think that's going to be a lot of the Brazilian fighters tonight are going to be heavy foot on the gas early.
Oh yeah,
in these first rounds.
For sure.
So it makes for a great card. It really does.
And I can't wait, man. I'm so pumped. I'll have to text you during these fights. We hope everyone.
For sure.
I think we should end it here, just because my computer's being weird.
That's fine. Like I said, we do. For me, it's more the reaction videos, watching the fights, and then doing the video after. That's more the ones we really like. This is more like just a little primer. So we'll see kind of what this card brings on the reactions. But I think there's going to be a lot of early stoppages and some. I think there's going to be a lot of like very, very good back and forth fights as well. So we'll see.
Yeah,
but I'm excited to see.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. Anybody listening, you can follow us on Instagram at Pinnacle_combat, and the same thing on YouTube. All these episodes go up on YouTube. And yeah, we can't wait. And we'll do another post one tomorrow after I figure out this computer issue. But thanks for listening. And thank you, Dan, for being awesome as always.
Thank you, Jimbo. Appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for listeing. And I got to think of a catchphrase or something. But until then, just one thing I say at the end. But no, enjoy the fights. We'll be doing a reaction. I can't wait.
Yeah, send me your bets. Put some money in that DraftKings, bro.
Hell yeah. All right, I'm back in.
All right, see ya. Peace.
All right, see you.